So I want to end here with a story that I think gets at the heart of what I'm trying to leave you with today. So I finally made that big leap. I left DC, I moved across the country, 3,000 miles, all the way to the Bay Area, with a whole dream of being an author. Now, it turns out that being an author is pretty hard to do, and San Francisco is like the most unaffordable city in the world, pretty hard place to do it. So remember, I don't drive that much. I'm biking home one night, on my way to get some tacos and then go home. So I'm biking along on my way to get some tacos, and this guy out of nowhere bikes up alongside me and says, "My name's Bernat, I'm from Spain." I was like, I don't know who the hell you are. And I tried to bike away. He keeps biking alongside me. "My name's Bernat, I'm from Spain, I'm a designer." I was like, please stop talking to me. Like, you gotta be careful on the streets of San Francisco, talking to random people, let me tell you. He keeps biking alongside me. "My name's Bernat, I'm from Spain. I live in Barcelona. I'm a UX UI designer, a user experience designer. I'm looking for a design job here in the Bay Area. There's no jobs in Spain right now, brutal unemployment. I'm trying to find work." And I said to Bernat, I was like, oh, interesting, Barcelona, beautiful city. I visited once, I had a friend that lived there. Like, that's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. What an incredible place. And he says to me, yeah, Barcelona's great. He's like, well, what are you up to these days? How are you spending your time? What are you doing? Well, I tell him I'm writing this book about people trying to find more meaning and connection and belonging in their work. They're really lost. I'm trying to help them. So Bernat's like, well, do you have a cover designer yet? I was like, no. He's like, well, go home, check out my website, maybe we can work together. I was like, okay. So I go home, get tacos, obviously, first. Then I go home, and I check out this guy, Bernat's website. I was like, wow, this guy's pretty good. He's a pretty good designer, had samples of his work, a whole portfolio. Like, this guy's a pretty good designer. So I post on Facebook later that night. Just met this wild dude, Bernat, while I was biking home tonight. He hails from Spain, from Barcelona. He's looking for a design job here in the Bay Area. If you know of anything, let him know. A couple minutes later, my buddy Yi comments on the Facebook thread. He said, oh, Bernat should talk to my friends. They're doing this mobile startup in Palo Alto. There's like 5 of them. They don't really know what they're doing yet. They don't have a lead designer. Maybe they can work together. A couple weeks later, Bernat meets with the team. He gets hired to be the lead designer for this tiny mobile startup in Palo Alto. He gets a work visa to stay in the United States, which is a very big deal for him because there was so much unemployment in his home country in Spain where he was from. He sends me a quick thank you note, but like a couple years go by, I don't really hear from the guy. Like 2.5 years later, I get a text message from Bernat out of the blue. Smiley, I'm taking you out to dinner anywhere you want to go. I was like, sweet, I would love to get taken out to dinner. I'm writing this book. It turns out it's pretty hard to be an author. Like, San Francisco's really expensive. I'm broke. Like, maybe I made a big mistake. I should go back to my old job in DC. Like, my life is in shambles again. So we go out to this fancy meal, get a bottle of wine, a bunch of food. I'm like, what's going on, man? Why are you taking me out to dinner? Turns out that the mobile startup he had been working for had just been acquired by Yahoo for $80 million. He's the 5th employee at the company. He's paid almost entirely in equity. He definitely could afford to take me out to dinner. And he says to me, Smiley, thank you. This wouldn't have happened if not for you. And I said to him, I was like, no, man, thank you. Because this guy talked to a random stranger in a city he didn't live in a country he wasn't from, on a bicycle. Like, who the hell does that? So I think what I'm getting at here is that we have to create the culture among our teams and among our clients where people can make those big, bold asks, where they can channel their inner Bernat, where they can go outside their comfort zone and speak what's on their mind, where they can try new things and say what they really, really feel. And we're not going to be able to say yes, maybe even half the time or 80% of the time, but we create that culture where people feel seen and heard, valued to express themselves. And I think if we do that, we create a culture of belonging in this room, among our firms, among our companies, among our talent, among our clients, and perhaps most importantly, among the people and the communities that we serve. Thank you so much for having me today. It was wonderful to be with all of you. Thank you. Thank you.